If you are planning to buy an Apple TV right now, stop. Put your credit card away, and do not spend a single dollar until you hear what is happening behind closed doors at Apple Park. For the past few years, the tech community has treated the Apple TV like the quiet, forgotten middle child of the Apple ecosystem. It sits neatly under your TV, it runs tvOS, it streams your favorite shows in gorgeous Dolby Vision, and honestly, most people thought Apple was completely done updating its hardware category. After all, how much better can a streaming box actually get? Why would Apple waste engineering hours on a black plastic puck that already handles 4K video effortlessly? That assumption was completely wrong. Fresh supply chain reports, internal code discoveries, and deep-level leaks have just blown the lid off Apple's master plan for the living room. Apple is not just preparing a minor refresh. They are gearing up to drop the most powerful, highly disruptive home entertainment and AI hub they have ever created. We are talking about massive performance leaps, console-grade gaming architecture, next-generation wireless connectivity, and deep artificial intelligence integration that will completely redefine what your television can do. If you own an older Apple TV 4K, or if you were thinking about running out to buy the current model this weekend, this leak changes everything. In this deep dive, we are breaking down every single leak specification, the real reason behind Apple's strategic delay, what this means for your smart home, and why this upcoming release might single-handedly crush traditional gaming consoles and competing streaming boxes. Let's break it down piece by piece. To understand why this upcoming release is such a monumental deal, we first have to look at the timeline. The current generation of the Apple TV 4K hit the market back in late 2022. Packed with the A15 Bionic chip, it was a solid machine. It was snappy, it handled high frame rate HDR smoothly, and the USB-C Siri remote was a welcome quality of life upgrade. But since then? Complete silence. Apple skipped 2023, skipped 2024, and let 2025 pass by without a single whisper of a successor. For a long time, analysts thought Apple had abandoned the standalone set-top box category entirely, assuming they were shifting their focus strictly towards smart displays or integrated TV operating systems. But hardware development cycles inside Apple operate on a completely different scale. While consumers grew impatient, Apple was quietly building a device designed to anchor their entire ecosystem strategy for the next decade. The biggest, most consequential leak surrounding this new machine centers on the silicon beating inside it. The current Apple TV 4K runs on the A15 Bionic, a brilliant chip for its time, but one originally engineered for the iPhone 13 lineup. For the upcoming model, industry insiders indicate that Apple is skipping multiple generations to integrate elite-tier processors. The baseline rumor points directly to the integration of the A17 Pro chip, or potentially variants of the A18 series. Think about that for a second. The A17 Pro is a powerhouse built on an advanced 3nm architecture. It is the exact same chip that brought true console gaming to the mobile space, enabling jaw-dropping titles like Resident Evil 4 and Death Stranding to run natively on hardware fitting in the palm of your hand. When you translate that kind of graphical muscle over to a device plugged permanently into your living room wall and hooked up to an OLED television, the implications are staggering. Until now, playing games on an Apple TV meant casual arcade titles or casting from an iOS device. With an A17 Pro or newer chip under the hood, featuring a radically upgraded 6-core GPU with hardware-accelerated ray tracing, your Apple TV transforms into a legitimate gaming console. Imagine pairing a standard Bluetooth controller directly to your streaming box and playing AAA, console-quality titles natively in 4K with zero input lag, zero cloud streaming subscription fees, and zero server queues. You won't need an expensive PlayStation or Xbox console just to enjoy high-end gaming in your basement or living room. Apple is quietly positioning this device to capture a massive slice of the casual and mid-tier gaming market, utilizing the unified App Store ecosystem where games you buy on your iPhone or iPad can be played seamlessly on your big screen. Beyond raw processing and gaming power, there is another massive technical leap happening under the hood: hardware decoding. The upcoming hardware is heavily rumored to feature full hardware-accelerated AV1 decoding. If you stream a lot of content, you already know why this matters. AV1 is the modern, highly efficient video codec championed by YouTube, Netflix, and major streaming platforms because it delivers significantly better image quality at much lower data bit rates. Currently, older streaming devices struggle or rely on software workarounds to process AV1 streams smoothly. By baking hardware-level AV1 decoding straight into the new silicon, your video streams are going to load faster, look crisper, compress bandwidth more intelligently, and eliminate stuttering entirely, even when dealing with high bitrate 4K HDR files. Networking is another area where Apple is making a massive statement. Leaks strongly indicate that this new machine will feature Apple's custom-designed networking hardware, incorporating support for Wi-Fi 7 and the 6 GHz wireless band. If your home router supports modern Wi-Fi standards, this upgrade alone is worth the wait. Traditional Wi-Fi bands are crowded with interference from smart bulbs, laptops, phones, neighbor routers, and Bluetooth accessories. By jumping to Wi-Fi 7 and utilizing the uncluttered 6 GHz spectrum, your streaming box gets a direct, ultra-low latency highway to your internet router. Uncompressed 4K video streams, heavy cloud data transfers, and instantaneous content buffering will happen without a single hiccup. Furthermore, leaks point to the inclusion of Bluetooth 6, ensuring that multiple audio devices, wireless game controllers, and smart accessories can connect simultaneously with absolute zero audio drift or signal dropouts. Now, let's talk about the real reason this device has taken so long to arrive, and why it ties into the most ambitious software overhaul Apple has ever attempted: artificial intelligence. If you have been following tech news, you know that Apple Intelligence has been rolling out across iPhones, iPads, and Macs. However, bringing AI to the living room requires a completely different approach. Reports from deeply connected industry insiders reveal that Apple had initially hoped to launch this new hardware much sooner, but production schedules were intentionally throttled to align with major upcoming software architectures. Apple wants this new streaming device to launch hand-in-hand with the advanced, deeply conversational version of Siri powered by next-generation operating system updates. For years, the standard critique of the Apple TV has been that Siri on the big screen feels somewhat basic. You ask it to find a movie, or you use it to search across apps, but it has largely remained a static voice command tool. That is about to change forever. With the integration of Apple Intelligence and a vastly upgraded neural engine housed within the new A-series chip, Siri on your TV is transforming into an intelligent home concierge. Imagine sitting on your couch and having a natural, flowing conversation with your TV. You can ask complex, multi-layered questions like, "Find the thriller movie we watched a few months ago where the actor from Inception played a detective," and cue it up in the living room soundbar configuration. The system won't just look up keywords, it will understand context, pull data across your personal iCloud ecosystem, summarize plots, recommend content based on your distinct viewing habits, and manage your entire digital lifestyle right from the comfort of your sofa. Because complex AI processing requires substantial memory bandwidth and robust neural processing units, the current older models simply lack the hardware headroom to support these advanced features. If you want the smart, context-aware Siri experience on your television, upgrading to this new hardware generation will be mandatory. Let's talk about the smart home, because this is where the upcoming hardware truly shifts from being a simple media player to the absolute nerve center of your household. Over the last few years, Apple has heavily invested in the Matter smart home standard and Thread networking protocols. If you run a smart home with lights, smart locks, security cameras, thermostats, and sensors, you already know how vital a reliable home hub is. The higher-tier versions of the current Apple TV already act as Thread border routers, but the upcoming 2026 iteration takes this architecture to an entirely new stratosphere. With upgraded internal radios, faster processing, and deeper local AI capabilities, the new Apple TV will manage automated routines locally rather than relying entirely on cloud servers. What does that mean for you? It means blazing fast response times when you turn off your lights, lock your front door, or check your security camera feeds via HomeKit. When someone rings your smart doorbell, your upcoming Apple TV won't just pause your movie, it can pull up a crisp, low-latency live picture-in-picture, camera feed directly on your screen, while Siri analyzes who is at the door based on facial recognition data synced safely from your home cameras. It bridges the gap between passive entertainment and active home automation in a way that no competing streaming device, not the Amazon Fire Cube, not Google TV, and not even specialized Android boxes, can genuinely match. Now, what about the physical design? If you are expecting Apple to completely reinvent the look of the device, you might be surprised. Leaks indicate that Apple is sticking with the tried-and-true Squircle form factor. It will maintain that sleek, low-profile black plastic body that slips effortlessly into any media cabinet or sits invisibly behind your wall-mounted television. Apple knows that the physical box itself isn't what needs fixing. The magic is entirely on the inside. By keeping the exterior footprint identical, they ensure that the device remains compact, thermally efficient, and visually timeless. There are also ongoing rumors regarding potential tweaks to the Siri remote, possibly refining its weight distribution, button layout, or internal tracking capabilities to make finding it through Apple's Find My network even more foolproof. Pricing is always the ultimate question when an Apple product is on the horizon. Following recent macroeconomic adjustments and baseline price shifts across Apple's broader hardware ecosystem, industry analysts project that the new Apple TV 4K will maintain a competitive baseline, likely starting around the traditional entry tier for premium media boxes, with higher storage variants offering expanded capacity for games and offline media caching. Given that Apple has kept the previous generation relevant for nearly 4 years, buying into this upcoming cycle ensures you are getting a future-proof machine that will easily stay relevant well into the late 2020s and early 2030s. So, let's address the elephant in the room. Should you buy an Apple TV right now, or should you wait? The answer is crystal clear. Do not buy the current model. If you head to the Apple Store today and drop your hard-earned money on a 2022 edition Apple TV 4K, you are purchasing hardware that is already approaching the end of its primary life cycle. Within a matter of months, that device will be superseded by a machine packing vastly superior processing power, console-grade gaming capabilities, lightning-fast Wi-Fi 7 connectivity, hardware AV1 decoding, and next-generation Apple Intelligence features that older chips simply cannot run. Patience is your absolute best friend here. Apple is meticulously aligning this release to hit the market alongside their major autumn software rollouts, ensuring that when the device boots up for the very first time, it operates at the absolute cutting edge of software and hardware synergy.